Before you read any further, ask yourself, when was the last time a leader made you believe again? Not with empty promises, not with flashy speeches, but with real action, real sacrifice, and a real dream for your future. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is that rare figure. Across Africa and the black diaspora, hearts are pounding with hope and fierce determination because of him. This is not just another politician. This is a movement. And today, we stand at a crossroads. Will we protect our future or watch it be stolen once again? Captain Ibrahim Traoré is more than just a name echoing across the streets of Ouagadougou. To millions of Africans, he is a symbol of what could be, a leader who dares to envision a free, sovereign, and proud Africa. His journey is not paved with privilege or political handshakes behind closed doors. It is forged through the fires of discipline, sacrifice, and an unyielding love for his people. They have tried to silence him, not once, not twice, but 19 times. 19 assassination attempts, and he still stands. Each bullet missed, each plot foiled, only fuels the legend of Captain Traoré. It is not just luck, it is destiny, guarded fiercely by the spirit of a continent that refuses to bow any longer. As one passionate supporter cried out, protect him at all costs, spiritually, physically, mentally, because if they touch Traoré, they touch all of Africa. And what is it that makes Traoré different? What drives such loyalty that men and women across the globe pray for him daily, that youth in Nairobi, Dakar, and Atlanta chant his name? Its results. Its courage. Its unbreakable authenticity. Unlike the polished politicians molded by colonial mindsets, Captain Ibrahim Traoré rose through the army, his leadership shaped by the harsh realities of defending a vulnerable nation. He didn't climb through political favors or foreign endorsements, he earned his place by standing against forces that sought to keep Burkina Faso weak and divided. And when he speaks the truth that every African knows deep in their bones. Our country has long been in a very complicated system. Most of you who are young like me, we were born into it. But we have two choices, accept to fight, or remain slaves forever. Captain Traoré chose to fight. And he fights not just with words but with actions that have already begun to change the lives of his people. One of his boldest, most revolutionary acts. Making education free, up to the university level. In a continent where education has long been a privilege reserved for the wealthy few, Traoré shattered the chains. No longer will a young Burkinabe child's dreams be crushed under the weight of school fees. Every child, regardless of background, now has the right to learn, to grow, to build a future. This is not charity, this is liberation. But he didn't stop there. Drive through Ouagadougou today and you'll see a new Burkina Faso rising. Roads are under construction, bridges are connecting once isolated communities, and railways are being laid, true arteries of economic life that will carry the heartbeat of a nation finally investing in itself. Traoré's vision is not just about better streets or shinier stadiums, though the newly renovated multi-purpose stadium in the heart of Ouagadougou stands as a glittering beacon of hope. It's about dignity. It's about saying to the world, we are not broken. We are building. We are rising. And yes, he understands the spiritual battle too. Many mocked him when he spoke of divine protection, but they forget, in a world where African leaders have been toppled, bribed, or assassinated for daring to defy imperial powers, prayer is not superstition, it's survival. It is the shield of a people whose greatest weapon is faith in their own destiny. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not without his flaws. No leader is. But he has dared to act where others hesitated. He has dared to dream of a Burkina Faso, and an Africa, that is not dictated to by Paris, Washington, or Brussels. He has dared to love his people enough to risk everything. This is why, across Africa and the diaspora, a fire has been lit. Black people, Africans, freedom lovers around the globe know, if we allow Traoré to fall, we allow a piece of our future to die with him. He is not just Burkina Faso's captain, he is our captain in the fight for dignity, sovereignty, and a future unchained from the past. On April 30th and every day beyond, the message must ring louder than ever: we stand with Captain Ibrahim Traoré. We defend our own. We will not be silenced. Because when the spirit of Africa awakens, no force on earth can stop it. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has become a living testament to the idea that real leadership is not about empty slogans, it's about action, sacrifice, and a relentless commitment to uplifting the people. After igniting hope through free education and transformative infrastructure projects, Captain Traoré has continued to forge a path that is reshaping Burkina Faso and inspiring an entire continent. While many talked for decades about African development, Traoré is building it, brick by brick, heartbeat by heartbeat. Across Burkina Faso, what once seemed impossible is becoming reality. The government is not just outsourcing contracts to foreign corporations, as has been the tragic tradition in many African states. Instead, there's a bold push to empower local talent, local companies, and local resources. This isn't just about creating roads, bridges, and stadiums, it's about creating pride. It's about proving to Burkinabe citizens and Africans everywhere that they can, and must, be the architects of their own future. By using local expertise, Traoré is doing more than just rebuilding, he is restoring confidence. Every brick laid by a Burkinabe worker is a blow against the narrative that Africa must depend on others to develop. Every new road and railway line becomes not just a path for commerce, but a declaration of self-determination. In every hospital wing and classroom built with local hands, Traoré reminds the world, Africa can rise on its own terms. Health, too, has become a cornerstone of this new Burkina Faso. Recognizing that a nation's true wealth lies in the health of its people, Captain Traoré has made healthcare a top priority. New hospitals and clinics are being constructed across cities and rural villages alike. Doctors and nurses are receiving updated training, modern equipment is being brought in, and mobile health units are reaching the most remote communities, places that have been forgotten for generations. Under his leadership, healthcare is no longer a privilege for the elite, it is becoming a right for every Burkinabe citizen. Mothers no longer have to risk death to bring life into the world. Children can be vaccinated against preventable diseases. Chronic conditions are no longer silent death sentences for those too poor to seek care. Captain Traoré is not merely treating illnesses, he is healing a wounded nation, laying down the foundation for a stronger, more resilient Burkina Faso. Nowhere is this transformation more visibly celebrated than in the heart of Ouagadougou, where the newly renovated multipurpose stadium towers proudly. This is not just a venue for sports, it is a monument to hope. A place where young Burkinabe can dream bigger, compete harder, and unite as one people. It is a symbol that Burkina Faso is not just recovering, it is rising, determined to etch its name on the map of continental excellence. And the ripple effects are undeniable. Across the Sahel, from Mali to Niger, and stretching across Africa to Ghana and the Congo, people are taking notice. Leaders are being forced to look inward. Citizens are daring to demand more. Young Africans, who once saw migration as their only hope, are beginning to believe that their dreams can be realized on African soil. Captain Traoré has sparked a continental awakening. But with hope comes danger. As Captain Traoré's success shines brighter, so too do the threats against him grow. Imperial forces, foreign interests, and even internal betrayers, those who thrive off Africa's misery, are watching closely. They fear what Traoré represents, a new breed of African leadership, unbought, unbowed, and unstoppable. This is why the call to protect Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not just a slogan, it is a sacred duty for all black people around the world. If he falls, they will say, you see, another African revolutionary who failed. They said it about Lumumba. They said it about Sankara. They said it about Gaddafi. But this time, we refuse to let history repeat itself. We must unite not only for Captain Traoré but for every future leader who dreams of a free, strong Africa. We must build walls around our revolutionaries, not with bricks, but with solidarity, with vigilance, and with unwavering support. For every agent of imperialism whispering doubt, let 1,000 voices rise in unity. For every betrayal plotted, let a million prayers shield our leaders. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is showing the way, that Africans can change our nations, that sovereignty is not a myth, but a right worth fighting for. His fight is not only Burkina Faso's, it is ours. The movement in the Sahel is not an isolated event, it is a wake-up call to all of Africa and to the global black family. The message is clear. If Burkina Faso can rise, why not all of Africa? If one man can ignite a revolution of hope, imagine what a united people can achieve. Today we are witnessing history. The only question that remains is: will we stand up, or will we stand by? Captain Ibrahim Traoré's revolution in Burkina Faso is not just about new roads, free education, healthcare reforms, or impressive infrastructure. It is something much deeper. It is about awakening a giant, a force that has been suppressed for centuries, Africa itself. The fear that foreign powers harbor towards Captain Traoré has nothing to do with a small nation tucked away in the Sahel. No, their fear runs far deeper. They are terrified because Captain Traoré has become a catalyst, a living symbol that Africa, long treated as a pawn in global affairs, is stirring awake. His leadership threatens to ignite a fire that could sweep across the continent, uniting divided nations and rekindling the dream of a strong, sovereign Africa. For decades, Africa was deliberately fragmented. Colonial borders chopped up ancient empires into dozens of small, weak states. Political parties were weaponized to divide brother from brother. Artificial conflicts were fueled to keep the people distracted and dependent. But now, for the first time in a long while, someone like Captain Ibrahim Traoré has stood up and declared: no more. He isn't just fighting for Burkina Faso, he is fighting for every African who dares to dream of freedom, dignity, and prosperity. He is fighting for those in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where wealth in minerals has brought nothing but endless suffering. He is fighting for those in Mozambique, where oil discoveries have led only to war. He is fighting for the people of Sudan, of Libya, of South Sudan, nations rich in gold and oil but bleeding because of foreign exploitation. Captain Ibrahim Traoré represents the collective hope of African youth. Young Africans want more than survival, they want to thrive. They want industries, jobs, opportunities, dignity. Traoré understands this at his core. He is not offering empty promises, he is delivering real, tangible results. Industries are rising in Burkina Faso. Schools are expanding. Farmers are being empowered to produce food for their own people rather than relying on imports of low-quality products. For years, Africa, a land blessed with fertile soil and abundant water, consumed plastic rice and plastic fish imported from abroad. It was an insult to both nature and dignity. Under Captain Traoré's leadership, that era is ending. Burkina Faso is embracing self-sufficiency, and this example is sparking hope across the continent. He shows that it is possible to dream African dreams and to realize them without waiting for foreign validation or assistance. But such a bold movement does not come without enemies. The imperialist forces are not resting. They are plotting, scheming, and undermining at every opportunity. They are terrified that the revolution Captain Traoré is leading will become contagious, that the spirit of liberation will leap from Burkina Faso to Ghana, from Mali to Congo, from Niger to South Africa. That is why now, more than ever, it is essential for all black people, in Africa, in the Caribbean, in Europe, in the Americas, to unite around him. This is not just a Burkinabe struggle. This is a global black struggle for dignity, sovereignty, and future generations. We must recognize that if Traoré fails, it will not be portrayed as just one leader's fall. No, it will be used to ridicule all attempts at African self-governance. They will say, you see, Africans cannot lead themselves. Africans cannot build their own future. And it will crush the spirit of countless young revolutionaries yet to come. We cannot allow that to happen. Captain Ibrahim Traoré needs our support, morally, spiritually, politically. Wherever we are, whether in the diaspora or on the continent, we must amplify his achievements, shield him from attacks, and counter the lies that are being spread to tarnish his name. Traoré's movement is showing us that the empire of slavery, physical, mental, and economic, has collapsed. We are now entering a new era, an era where African nations can finally control their own resources, build their own industries, educate their own children, and heal their own people. The African Union once promised that by 2020, the guns would fall silent. Yet today, conflict continues to rage, fueled by external interests hungry for Africa's natural riches. If we truly want peace, if we truly want to silence the guns, then we must first defend the leaders who fight for Africa's control over her own destiny. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is the living embodiment of this fight. He is a leader accountable to his people, a builder of industries, a promoter of agriculture, a believer in the potential of African youth. He is doing what many claimed was impossible. He is planting the seeds for an Africa that can feed itself, heal itself, educate itself, and defend itself. And so, the question for all of us is clear. Will we stand idle and watch another hope extinguished? Or will we rise, together, to protect and defend the revolution he is leading? The future of Africa is not in the hands of imperialists. It is not in the hands of exploiters. It is in the hands of Africans, bold, determined, unyielding. And today, Captain Ibrahim Traoré stands at the front of that march into the future. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's leadership is more than a revolution of infrastructure, education, and natural resources, it is a revolution of the African soul. For too long, Africa has been wounded, not just by exploitation, but by the deliberate destruction of its spirit, its pride, and its unity. Traoré stands as a living shield against those forces. And today, more than ever, it is our duty to stand with him. Why has Africa struggled to feed itself despite possessing some of the world's richest farmland? Because for decades, our farmers have been disturbed, their lands destabilized, their dreams disrupted. They were not given the peace to plant and harvest, instead, foreign powers handed them plastic rice and synthetic food under the false banner of aid. This aid was never about empowerment. It was about keeping Africa dependent. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré drew a line in the sand. He said, "Enough is enough." He declared that Africans do not need to drown in the Mediterranean Sea searching for green pastures elsewhere. Africa itself will become the green pasture. And today, because of his vision, young people in Burkina Faso are not running away, they are staying home to build, to farm, to dream. And it's not just Burkina Faso. Traoré's courage has awakened a wave across the continent. In Niger, in Mali, in Namibia, leaders are taking back control of their natural wealth. A spirit once feared lost is roaring back to life. Africa is waking up. But, dear brothers and sisters, let us be clear. The forces that fear Africa's awakening have not gone away. They are regrouping. They are plotting. They are waiting for us to make the same mistake we made in the past, the mistake we made with Muammar Gaddafi. We all remember how Libya once stood proud, a beacon of African strength. But when Gaddafi was attacked, Africa was silent. We waited for others to defend him. We waited for foreign justice. And when the dust cleared, Libya lay in ruins, and Africa wept. We cannot afford that mistake again. This time, as they aim their weapons, political, economic, and military, at Captain Ibrahim Traoré, we must not abandon him. Speaking is not enough. Posting on social media is not enough. We must act. We must show solidarity, in our words, in our actions, in our presence. We must go to Ouagadougou. We must organize. We must mobilize. If they want to eliminate us, let them see that we are ready to stand together. Let them know that to touch one is to touch all. Let them understand that Africa has awakened and will not be subdued again. Traoré is not just one man. He is a symbol of every African youth who dares to hope. He is the voice of farmers, of workers, of students, of mothers dreaming of a better tomorrow. If Captain Traoré falls, Burkina Faso will not be the only casualty, the entire African Renaissance will be wounded. The roads, the industries, the hospitals, the schools being built today in Burkina Faso will be destroyed if we allow the enemies of African sovereignty to win. And worse still, the spirit of self-reliance now spreading across the continent will be crushed once more under the boot of foreign manipulation. That is why, today, we call upon all African leaders, presidents, ministers, chiefs, to rise and support Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And not just with empty words, but with real action, with real commitment. We, the ordinary people, must also do our part. We must stop betraying each other. We must stop being used as tools against our own brothers and sisters. Africa means love. Africa means peace. Africa means unity. This is the true meaning of being African. To love Africa is to protect Africans. To love Africa is to defend leaders who stand for Africa's dignity and future. We must resist all attempts to divide us, by tribe, by language, by border, by political party. We must remember that an injury to one African is an injury to all Africans. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not alone. He carries the hopes of millions. But hope alone will not protect him. Our actions must. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, warriors and dreamers. This is our moment. There will be no second chance. There will be no better time. If we truly believe in the African future, if we truly believe in dignity, sovereignty, and freedom, then now is the time to rise. Now is the time to say, loudly and without fear. We stand with Captain Ibrahim Traoré. We stand with Burkina Faso. We stand with Africa. Mama Africa, we hear your call. And we answer. With love. With unity. With unbreakable determination. Africa is rising, and this time, nothing will stop us.